Tasmat savesu kalesu mam anushmara yudyacha maya pita manobudir mam evasya sasankshaya. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Please repeat. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me.
You should always think of me
in the form of Krishna.
In the form of Krishna.
And at the same time, carry out your prescribed duty.
Carry out your prescribed duty
of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me. And your mind. And intelligence fixed on me. You will attain me without doubt. This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's names, one will be transferred to the supreme planet Krishna Loka without a doubt. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura. Hare Krishna. It is said of Bhagavad Gita that it is arranged like your favorite sandwich. Well, maybe not your favorite sandwich, we don't really know what's your favorite sandwich, but like a sandwich. That the first 6 chapters are like the slice of bread on the one side, and then the last 6 chapters, because it's 18 chapters, are the second slice of bread. And the middle 6 chapters are the nectarian, vegetarian, offered to Krishna stuff in between. And today's verse is from a chapter in the middle 6 chapters called Attaining the Supreme. The verse before what we read today, 2 of them are discussing how to pass the final exam of death. Krishna is speaking that whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Before that he says, and whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So many times people ask this question, that if Krishna says what I remember at death is what will determine my destination, then why should I bother with trying to follow Krishna's instructions now? If it's about remembering Krishna at the end, then I might as well just wait for the end, right? And yeah, sounds like a good proposal. And Srila Prabhupada anticipating that question and having dealt with it, puts it in the purport that because Krishna is supremely pure, it is not possible for one who is not purified and who is not practiced in remembering Krishna to be able to remember Krishna at the end of their lives. At the end of our life, then whatever it is that we are most attached to will come to us naturally without great endeavor. Just as in the war fields, even hardened soldiers, when the bullets start ringing past their helmets or they get hit, they tend to call for mama, or they call out to the Supreme. When you need help, you need someone bigger than you, stronger than you, who can help you. So tendency is that the mother has been there for us, and we all remember that shelter and cry for mama. And then also they remember that there's God. Some may be even atheists. But at that point when there's great danger, the capacity to call out to the Supreme comes. Because we need help, we're desperate. Now, at the time of death also it is described that the living being is undergoing great suffering and pain. The Bhagavatam talks about as if stung by 1,000 scorpions. So this is not to hash up fear, but it's also just to bring us into the reality of the challenge that lays ahead. That is why Krishna discusses how to prepare for that time of death. In Mukunda Mala Stotra, we find King Kulasheka offering a prayer there that, my Lord, might you not take me now while my vitals are strong, my mind is clear, that I can remember you. Because I don't know how I will be able to remember you at the time of death, when the life airs are disturbed, when the throat is choked up with mucus, when the mind is reeling in pain. So his attachment is such that, take me while I can remember you. Understanding that Anta Narayana Smriti, at the end, we want to remember the Supreme Person. So human life is specifically for this challenge. As this movement is known as the Krishna consciousness movement. We are conscious beings. What are we conscious of? What is the content of our consciousness? Generally, it is to do with what our senses are dealing with every day. That's what fills up our mind. And that's what colors our consciousness. And so at the end, we may be remembering all that we have worked hard for, and because it's been taken away. So Krishna understands this challenge that lays ahead, and so anticipating Arjuna's next question, how can I really do this? Because I'm here. You are talking about the hereafter, preparing for that, but I'm here now. And what should I be doing currently? And how will I be able to remember you while I'm busy with what I'm doing now? So most of us, we understand our own challenges that come with our lives. We may consider that I need to achieve so many things. And to achieve things in this world takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of time. We're dealing with students at the university, and they're always without time. At least for some things they don't have time for. And the natural excuse when there are things that really have to be done which are not really their natural taste, then they remember their schoolwork. Like one student today, we were inviting them to come for the program. And then they wrote the message, oh yes, yeah, I decided that I won't be able to come today because it's Sunday and the program is in the evening. And generally on Sundays, I prepare for the week, my schoolwork for the week. And then I wrote back that, yeah, I understand that 2 to 4 p.m. is in the evening. And they were caught out because they just, by default, certain programs we go to are in the evenings. They forgot that this one is actually not in the evening. But a call to duty, that you're a responsible man, you should understand that I want to prepare for the whole week, my schoolwork. So what a wonderful student, prepared for the whole week. Point is that we have no taste for our spiritual welfare. The Bhagavatam points out that there is no greater obstacle to one's real self-interest than considering other subject matters to be more interesting than your own liberation. If we find that other engagements, other subject matters, save and except how will I, remember Krishna at the time of death, how will I be freed from repeated birth and death? If we find that we have a higher taste for all these other subjects, what greater obstacle can be there? So many men with microphones will come and say so many things. Yes, take up Krishna consciousness. Yes, it's your highest welfare. But then if it doesn't touch my heart, I have other interests. Who can help me in that position? Still, there is hope. Krishna consciousness is so potent that even it works even when we are resisting. Because Krishna is a very loving personality. He is our supreme well-wisher, eternally so. And so he's on our side. He knows what is going on within our hearts and minds. He knows what tastes have accumulated in our system. And he knows all the spin doctoring of our mind. And he's probably very much enthused. It's like stand-up comedy. Yeah. Just pull up another one of your reasons why you shouldn't come closer. So let us hear closely what are the suggestions that Krishna is putting forward. Arjuna was faced with war. So war is, you cannot be in much more difficult a situation than being in a battlefield. So try to think, every man thinks their burden is the heaviest. But war, those who have experienced, I don't know, anyone here been in some situation of war? Oh, there was, Fees Must Fall was it's a type of war, yeah, we were there. Actually, Wits University is very much in need of dustbins. They have concrete ones, but those concrete bins were destroyed during that Fees Must Fall. They were being used as weapons against the armed security. So now you don't see so much those concrete ones. So yeah, maybe that type of war. But yes, guns, enemies that are trying to end your life. And Krishna is telling him in a conclusive way, therefore, Tasmat, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. At the same time, you carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. So we are not tasked to fight any serious war, at least not yet. Hopefully not in the nearest future. Our occupational duty, our prescribed duty is not as soldiers, but as students, as bankers and IT persons, accountants, whatever it is that you do. So that may be taking up our mind and our heart. And Krishna is saying it's possible to do those things and at the same time think of me. There's an example that's generally given of the unfaithful spouse when they're having an affair, that they do and they behave around their unsuspecting spouse in the most normal of ways, and they do everything nicely. They actually become more attentive not to break their routine so that the other doesn't suspect something's amiss. But while they are making sure that they are behaving as normal and as usual, they are meditating about when they're going to meet their lover. In fact, they are so attentive to their duties just so that there's success in meeting the lover without being detected. I don't expect you to know it, but no, yeah. He looks cute, like, really? So, because of their attraction and meditation on that lover, they make sure that there is no obstacle in the way of them meeting their lover. Therefore, they perform their duties so nicely so that nobody suspects anything. So that is being said of us, that if we make Krishna the supreme object of our love, of our heart, then we can also be thinking of him while we do our duties. And in fact, when we do our duties, we are doing them to the best of our ability because we want to offer that result to Krishna. We want to show him that whatever abilities you have given me, I am engaging them to the fullest potential. We want to showcase that Krishna, let everyone know that your servant excels in their field of activity. That we are not hooligans. Although I'm very guilty of not representing Krishna so well on the roads. I hope all of you can do better. I'm trying to improve, but I tend to fall in the parampara of taxi drivers. That we need to get somewhere, so, I'm trying to improve, so please, you keep me in your prayers. Point though is that we want to represent Krishna in the best possible way. Therefore, we want to act in the best possible way to give example to others what a servant of Krishna is. So what is needed to live in this consciousness of Krishna while we are engaged in this world? We need to be able to connect. We need connection with Krishna. This connection with Krishna is what is mentioned in the purport, that by chanting Krishna's names, when we chant Krishna's names, we are clearing the contamination of the heart. So this committed spiritual purification of heart allows us a deeper connection of Krishna, because chanting removes the dust. As it is said, the heart is like a mirror, and then on that mirror is a lot of dust, aka lust, greed, envy, illusion, anger, jealousy, madness. So many contaminations. So the holy name of Krishna acts like a detergent or like a nice cloth with Mr. Mean and can shine that mirror that we remember who we are and we remember our connection to Krishna. Therefore, with a heightened sense of connection to Krishna, it leads to remembrance of Krishna as we transact in the world. That connection will help us to recollect, remember what we've heard about Krishna. And as we are remembering Krishna at every step, then thinking of him is natural. But when there is no purification of heart, then there is no space for Krishna to stay, because there's all the other impressions that are stampeding in our hearts. Sometimes devotees are worried, well, I'm not such a powerful devotee, strong devotee. What can I even contribute to Krishna's mission? Because I'm here and I'm also asked to do something here for the beloved. Don't know if any of you ever felt like that. We have joined a movement of pioneers. Srila Prabhupada was here just over 50 years ago. His disciples are still on the planet, and they have contributed so much to the spread of Krishna consciousness, establishing temples and so many facilities for us to practice. And we feel that we also need to contribute. And we may feel that we cannot do the big things that the big devotees have done, and therefore feel sometimes discouraged. But Krishna values more the inner connection than the outward contribution. Because with Krishna, it is the mood with which we do things. That is where the success is. That if we have a desire to please Krishna and we make an attempt, sincere attempt to please Krishna, Krishna accepts that desire to act on his behalf. The result may be this way or the other. We are not so powerful to really make sure we get exact desires or results that we're looking for. So the inner connection is the most important aspect. And therefore Krishna is saying, with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me. Most of the devotees are working these white-collar jobs, where you're in the office. So the corporate world wants your mind, all of it. You have to be absorbed in all that happens in that office to execute your duties correctly. Sometimes if you are not so focused, you can lose the company millions of rands. So in such a situation, it's difficult for devotees to meditate, to remember Krishna. Fortunate are those that work with their bodies. You can offer the energy of your body, but your mind doesn't have to be so much absorbed in all this information. So those, you can easily be hearing kirtan, hearing classes while you work. Hence, Srila Prabhupada has a vision for us to be back on the land. Some simple lifestyle, agrarian lifestyle, where we offer service for part of the day, and the balance is there for us to meditate on Krishna. But someone said, well, that's a nice thing Prabhupada is wishing, but our situation is that we are in these offices. it becomes even more crucial for us to prepare our consciousness before we leave the home. So that's why our program is designed that we should rise early. And to rise early means we must sleep on time. These are not big new discoveries. You've heard them a million times. But what's the value of all this hearing if it doesn't translate into benefit for your life? Early to bed, early to rise. I'm always hearing of people who need rest, how they didn't sleep, how they slept when we were getting up. And there are friends, they are also, in spiritual life. But then immediately a question mark comes, and how will you have any strength in spiritual life when your mornings are not dedicated to chanting Hare Krishna? So note in your life, if you're not able to associate with Krishna, especially before you begin all the hectic schedules that you have on your wall and your phones, because we're all being pushed by deadlines, pushed by our desires, ever so strongly, ever so incessantly, to contribute at the workplace. So that we take seriously. I have to do that. But you going to the office to work for the money that you need in a completely frail, weak state of mind. We have to take it seriously, this cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we may be seeming like we are passing in life. People are clapping. Oh, now he has this, now he moved there, now. Yet we are actually failing life. Like Jesus said, what profited the man to gain the whole world, but lose his immortal soul? It is serious. We are the soul, and we will endure beyond this body. So why should I become a servant of ashes and dust and stew? These are the three most popular destinations of this body we live in. So Krishna consciousness offers us a simple solution. I mean, it is simple. It really is. Hare Krishna mantra. Do we have one? Somewhere there. Couple of words, 16. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra is Krishna himself with his internal pleasure potency, Radharani. If you had needed any greater mother, there is no greater mother than Srimati Radharani. If you needed a friend and a father, there is no greater friend or father than Krishna. They are offering their association to us 24/7, 365. Krishna has already arranged that there's this low, strange thing inside our mouths. It's got many functions. Tasting, that everyone pays attention to. Also, vibrating sound. We tend to vibrate so much sound. Sometimes unnecessary sound. But everywhere, everyone's saying something. Commentary on every breaking news. every news channel is saying something. There are hot takes. So all this material sound, just discussing the temporary phenomena of this world, and then creating very deep impressions that this is actually a substantial place, that it will enjoy, that it's actually reality. We forget who is it that is witnessing all of this. And we forget what is my future when this body meets its inevitable end. So Krishna has come in the age of Kali. Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. The incarnation of Krishna in the Kali Yuga is this Nam, this holy name. And anyone can associate with Krishna, the Supreme Person, by hearing the sound of his name. So, because Krishna is all pure, he's free from any material contamination. His name is Nitya Mukta, always liberated. When we have that association, it clears all this fog that's created by our material association. We were talking about it yesterday. We had a gathering, housewarming one of the devotees. And I was just checking how much time do we put in our schedule to hear kirtan, just to really turn it up and sing along. Sometimes we forget even the happiness and the sense of connectedness that comes with hearing and singing kirtan. That when you do remember and you do play and sing along, and all of a sudden, yes, Krishna is real. Krishna does give pleasure to my heart. Actually, this process is what I deeply need within the core of my heart. So we forget. So we have all these classes to remind each other. We have the service of, beating the husk of wheat. Every time we just remind each other that please take this chanting of Hare Krishna and make it the primary, central feature of your life. Because that is making Krishna the central feature of your life. Some are initiated, and at initiation, we are committing to chant the holy name daily. And it helps, this commitment. That's why also marriage, there's so many witnesses, they put a ring on it so that every time you do something, you oh yeah. And you invite so many of us, we come there to witness. There's priests, there's prayer, there's rituals, there's dowry. Southern Africa is lobola, yeah? In the East, there's also a lobola, it's just that it's going in a different direction. In the East, they give the man a starter pack. Look, just take these things. Don't tell us you can't take care of it. We gave you something to start. Yeah. This side is like, hey, I need to organize something. Sometimes people think that they paid for some goods, So whatever it is, when we make vows, it's to help us remember the importance of the undertaking. So those who are initiated, please remember your vows. Please remember the beautiful smiling face of your spiritual master. And try to take that gift that's been given. Those who are aspiring to become fixed, chant a certain number of rounds. Like 18 and above, you can't be chanting like less than 6 rounds, really. We applaud even 1 round. You know, these days, they give even trophies for participation these days. So we'll speak nicely. Oh, thank you for coming. At least you've been here coming for a year. Yeah, that's just nice for patting on the back, but it won't cut it, because material energy is always broadcasting her Maic conclusions. And you need something to clear that. So if you're 18 and above, you can allowed now to drink all these poisons like alcohol, and you're allowed in stupid places called clubs. You're allowed to do all this nonsense. You should be able to chant at least 6 rounds of Maha Mantra on these beads. Otherwise, stop talking and making noise. Everywhere we're talking, everywhere everyone's talking, saying something. But Lord Chaitanya is pointing out, I have no taste for the holy name. That's his lamentation. Krishna, you're so kind. You've given us so many names. You've imbued them with all your potencies. You're not even putting hard and fast rules when to chant. Standing, walking, sitting, lying, noon, midnight. Any time you can chant. But the problem is on our side. Like we said, we have a taste for other things except our own welfare. So this whole culture of love yourself, love yourself. If you don't know the self, what love is this self-love? Huh? Promoting senses and body. And if we're really trying mental health, this mental health, all these difficulties are because of a lot of passion and ignorance that is being pushed on society. So it's creating, diseases of the mind. When there's more goodness, then the mind is free from all these lower modes of lamentation, of anxiety, of fear. So I just speak of transcendental experience. Krishna is free from goodness, passion, and ignorance. He's spiritual. Mind and intelligence fixed on me. How? By chanting the holy name. So this chanting of the holy name, it can never be overstated. And if you feel challenged, offended, then fantastic. If you're offended that we are saying chant Hare Krishna, at least meditate on the offense at home, as Prabhu was busy saying, was chant Hare Krishna. I don't want to chant Hare Krishna. Why must I chant Hare Krishna? This chanting Hare Krishna is not what I'm into. I just want to eat there. I went to see my friends there. It's because he invited me, I came. I've been doing it for a few years, so I just go to the temple, because he's busy telling us chant Hare Krishna. I'm not into Hare Krishna like that. Even meditating on that, feeling offended about chanting Hare Krishna is beneficial. It's meditation on Krishna. And Krishna is a Papa Vilam. He purifies any and everything that comes into contact with him. Because this being transferred to the supreme planet of Krishna Loka is a later fruit. Who wants to go to Krishna Loka? Does people want to go to mainland, to Central City, to Dubai? You know what I mean? Like the Bahamas, Hawaii, no?
But I per se.
But Krishna Loka, what goes on in Krishna Loka? They have BMW there, so they have IMAX, they have Netflix there. These are the things that we are aspiring for. The shiny things that are being broadcast day in and day out into our consciousness. And so we don't even have aspiration to go home. We think we are home. So Krishna consciousness is a very serious and wonderful acquisition. Right? If you've come across it, then at least you know the truth. You can understand what's going on. It's a deep situation of imprisonment, where I don't even want to get out of the prison. That's even advanced. I don't want to get out. What to speak of knowing that I'm in prison? And what is this prison? My own body is a prison? What are you talking about? My desires. Because without the desire to go home, why would you end up back home in the spiritual world? It's not one of those things you stumble onto. Just you took the wrong off ramp, the M1, and next thing, Krishna Loka. It's an intentional cultivation, and the human form is for that cultivation. And Krishna is a concrete reality, a personality, who a relationship exists with. And this preliminary of the relationship is, you had me at the name. We start with the holy name. From the name, we'll be interested in Krishna's qualities, his activities. And as we hear and associate with Krishna in these ways, then it becomes natural not to hold on to that which will be taken by time anyway. And that is real freedom. When you're not holding on to that which is already lost. No one can hold on. Actually, for me it's always haunted me, this not being able to. You can't keep anything here that you cannot, even you really care about, like this, I love my car. I love my kids. I love my wife. I really love her. Like I love her. The theatrics are just so that we can really think about it. No matter how much you love it, and nobody can love more anything than their own body. We are most attached to this body. And even that we cannot keep. So while we have it, here's a wonderful process where you sing and you dance and you hear about the wonderful exploits of the most wonderful person, who is your eternal well-wisher, who is always with you in your own heart, who likes to eat the most wonderful things and wants you to take part in that, who is inviting all of us. And make your life wonderful. Activity that is not binding, but which is freeing. So in that way, a connection internally also helps us to be able to execute our material duties proficiently. Because if you have a clear head, you're not babalazed, you get good rest, you are healthy in body, even at the office, you'll do well. So there's no loss in offering mind and intelligence and senses in Krishna's service. So we read the translation again. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me, and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So Krishna's guarantee is the real deal. So many people promise us so many things. And when they are just about to lie to us, they say, you know, if I'm honest, they tell me, if I have to be honest, they're really lying now. Just like pat you on the back, you know. Krishna is not that type of person. by his very nature, Krishna is, his desire is reality. When he was a little kid in Vrindavan, he came to this very planet, same planet of Malema and Zuma and no, they are wonderful people. Their mothers love them also, don't hate. So many people appreciate them. So where we are, Krishna came to Earth planet. And as a child, Krishna didn't like to come home after playing. Because his friends, they say, you're such a mama's boy, when always running back home, come and play with us. But at home, Mother Yashoda is also saying, no, you come. It's time for your bath, it's time for you to eat. I prepared so many nice delectables for you. Krishna was having a dilemma. His friends are threatening. Then of running back home like a mama's boy, we won't play with you anymore. He doesn't want to lose his friends. The other side, Mama, if you don't come home, this is not good. And so one evening, Mother Yashoda is telling Krishna, you like to stay out until it's dark. And you don't know that in the dark there's this monster that likes to eat naughty boys like you. Krishna, what? Yeah, there's this monster. He has many heads and big mouths, and he likes to gobble up little kids like you. And so Krishna is hearing his mind, he's thinking, I don't want to be eaten. So one evening, Mother Yashoda is asking Krishna to go get something outside. And Krishna's like, no, I can't go there. There's this monsters outside, they're going to eat me, Mother Yashoda, no, there's no monster outside. Krishna says, no. There's a monster outside, I cannot go outside. Mother Yashoda said, Kana, I just said this just to scare you. There's no monsters outside. Look, I'll go and check there's no monsters. So Mother Yashoda runs out and she comes in running, screaming. And she says, what happened? There's a monster outside. Because Krishna believed Mother Yashoda and he thought there's a monster outside. By his very sankalpa, resolved there was a monster outside. If you go to Vrindavan now, it's the deity of that high monster still there. So, when Krishna promises us, it's not just, to sell us something. Asamsaya. Without fail, you will attain me. Without doubt, you will attain me. Just fix your mind and intelligence in me. How? Begin with the holy name. From the holy name, all the required strength for the practice of devotional service will come. So, please forgive me if I've offended you. And please bless me if I've contributed anything to your life. Srila Prabhupada ki. Does anyone have any comment, thought, question, chastisement?
Question.
We've gone over, huh?
Sure.
Thank you. This is from Rashid. Oh, this everyone puts. Rashid? Thank you. When the soul leaves the physical body, does it leave through the nose or the mouth? It depends, Rashid. The great souls who are fixed in consciousness, the yogis can live from the crown chakra to whatever destination they want. Yeah, and the devotees, it doesn't really matter for them because they are always fixed in Krishna, thinking of Krishna. So by the power of their Krishna consciousness, however they leave, they go to the highest destination. However, it is said, when there's lots of fear. So in the hospitals, when people are about to leave, sometimes they lose their bowels, fear, and then they come out in different places. So the higher the body part, where the soul departs, at least when someone is following the mechanical processes, then it can determine the destination. But Krishna says, don't worry about if you just surrender unto me, I'll take care of whatever is lacking. Yeah. So if you are yogi there, then you're trying to leave, from the crown chakra. Nose is not too bad, still high up the mouth, but lower, then it means your practice didn't work out so well. Okay, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Number 2, what's your name? AGG? Aga. Thank you, Prabhu. Can Krishna change a man's fate, or is the super soul only the witness to a person's deeds and doesn't interfere? Krishna can change, a person's fate. How is Krishna changing it? You invite him into your life, and so he helps you to come closer to him. So he may adjust what is destined to you by your karma, the result of your activities. And therefore the devotee is able to take very extreme, difficult situations or highly successful, happy situations. He takes them in the same spirit as them being Krishna's mercy. And it is said, even just simply in kirtan, just clapping your hands, already changes, the lines of destiny. So the super soul is witnessing, yes, everyone's activities, but Krishna, he can adjust one's destiny. Is Krishna partial or impartial? Yeah? Is it? Yeah, Krishna is impartially partial. As the super soul, Krishna is impartial. He's a friend and witness, and he's seeing everything, and everyone's getting what they deserve. But when one invites Krishna for a relationship, then Krishna takes special interest in that devotee. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of a man can be a lover of children. He likes children. He may even run a kindergarten. So he's known he likes children. But if the kindergarten is burning and his own son is in that kindergarten, and if he runs in and rescues his son first, no one really will blame him. Hey, we thought you liked children. Why did you just save your own kid? Because there's natural affection for one's own child more than it may flow for others' children. So Krishna says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. But I'm a friend to that one who's a friend to me. So it means he will reciprocate, he will take steps to favor the devotees. Sometimes Krishna's favor of the devotee doesn't seem like favor. So sometimes those want to blame Krishna for being partial to his devotees. Just study his partiality and you'll see that maybe you are not really interested in Krishna being partial to you. Because maybe to favor you, Krishna says, if I especially favor someone, like the best favor I have, and special mercy, I take away everything. So that that person is left without any other shelter except me. You've heard a child crying in desperation. There's levels to the crying. The mothers know very well. when the pitch is really, and there's hardly any that's desperate, and all they want is they want the mother. So sometimes when Krishna sees the qualification of the devotee, then he clears the path by allowing them to have no other shelter except him. So when they call the name of Krishna, it is without any other false idea of shelter. It's really asking Krishna for shelter and service. It's part of his partiality. When he's impartial, he's there in the heart. The yogis, they see him. They may practice for thousands of years. He may not even say anything to them. But when he's with his devotees, he can't stop talking. Even the cows, he's trying to interview them. You're happy. That's Krishna. Even Indra complained, this talkative young boy. He convinced his whole father, who's the king of the whole village, to stop an important yearly function and divert it to worshipping Govardhan. That's Krishna. He's silver-tongued. He's just painting the hearts of the devotees with all this wonderful vibration. So yes, he's impartially partial. Hare Krishna Prabhu, what is the best way to remember Krishna during the day when you are not chanting the holy name? This is from Maharani. So Maharani, it's you. Thank you very much. Have you ever woken up with a song in your head in the morning? Like some song you heard the previous night. Yes. So chanting Hare Krishna is like that. That if you listen to a kirtan and you sing along enthusiastically, that echo of that holy name, even when it's no longer coming out from your mouth, is with you. Sometimes we hear the wrong song. You know, you travel public transport, you're at a mall, and songs from just like a different era. And the thing is just stuck with you. So by putting in a lot of Krishna, whether you, at home you're seeing the deity, you fed the deity nicely, you read something nice about Krishna, and then you can think of Krishna without having to actually vocalize his name. So, put in a lot of kirtan in there, and it will be the soundtrack for the day. Yes. Okay. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.